to the Banner Saga.
I never expected to see the dredge with my own eyes. What happened in the north? Already we see more between the trees as we approach our home, and Aelette grips my hand tight. We must find Ivor.
Ivor! The enormous Vrall in question towers over the men in the training field. He squints as you approach. Already back, hidden master. I thought you'd be tomorrow.
Dredge! Dredge, everywhere.
Dredge? How did they get through Greyhorn? They must have broken through the ford. The fighters nearby have stopped sparring. They gather around you. Damn it! They'll be here soon if they're not already. You hear screams. From the outskirts, people are running towards the Great Hall. Ivor turns to one of the older boys in his group of fighters. Eagle, take Aelette to the Great Hall. Tell the chieftain what's happening. The rest of you gather up as many supplies as you can. Come on, Aelette. Come on, Aelette. No, wait. I want to help. Let them fight, Ivor. Why not invite some of the goats to join us too? They're asking for dead kids. Ha! That's a dark pun. I won't let anything happen to her. They'll have to deal with it sooner or later, Ivor. What now? Oh, Eagle, keep your shield up. We just hold them off until everyone's inside. Then we can figure out what to do next. More shouts draw your attention to some houses atop a nearby hill. Dwarf voice is absolutely fake. Sure enough, the dredge are gathering in number. Fear threatens to bubble over into panic. How long do we have to keep this up? You ask. Ivor shakes his head unknowingly. That's a bad sign. We're ready for battle. Switch places there. Perfect. Even more perfect. Yes. Here. Kiddo, you should move forward. And, I guess that'll do. The one with the shield looks like trouble. Let me handle him. I don't know. Oh, it's Rook's turn. Okay. Well, Rook, for the moment, you will be an Anja. It looks so easy. It's not honestly gonna do all that much, but uh-oh. Can't quite tell if that's the square I want. It's 1 hour to allies and himself while adjacent to the ally. So if I moved there, it would work. Now turn it back through multiple tiles doing armor break damage. Uh-oh, my dear. Much, but it's something. Good job. There you go. You know, that works for me. Uh-oh. Papa! Oh no. Yours was the most awesome ability. Aelette's is secondary awesome. Early run. I mean that with the utmost respect. Oil. I don't even know if you hit. Whoops, I forgot about you. I'm sorry. Oh, that makes me sound like a horrible person. Chance he's gonna deflect that. Awesome. Whew. Tempered by blood and pain. Rook has been injured in battle, but he's not dead yet. Combat can be unforgiving. Don't forget to change it whenever you can. A black horde is forming at the tree line. Enough of this, says Ivor, glancing over his shoulder. We're going back, then adds, Rook, I'm doing one more check of the houses around here. See if you can find anyone. Keep watch. As you turn to head back, a colossus appears around the side of a house. It silently looms over Aelette, its face an expressionless, stony mask, more terrifying than any roar it may have produced. Time seems to slow as it pulls back its enormous mace. Shoot it with an arrow. As though second nature, you knock an arrow. Aelette is standing directly between you and the dredge, making the shot perilous at best. If you're off by a few inches, stop thinking, shoot the dredge, shove her to get her attention instead. Above the dredge to distract it. Oh. Problem is, if I shout to get her attention, she's just gonna turn and look at me. She's not gonna dodge. Have confidence in yourself. You let go. The second passes like an eternity. The arrow bounces off the dredge's face, inches away from what you think is an eye. It recoils, then turns upon Aelette again. Eagle rushes to her side. Ivor throws himself between them, catching the mace on his shield, and returns the favor, crushing the dredge's head with his shield point. When the dust settles, you can see that everyone is all right. Let's get out of here, says Ivor, as he goes to check the last few houses nearby. Rook, see if you can find any more survivors and meet me in front of the hall. Alright, let's go to the market real quick. Quicksy doozy. Alright, so I figured out these mean the excuse me, I figured out that these mean the level that you are before you can use it. So what does this mean? +1 armor on rest. Pass down from father son to kender to kender. Will per turn, but I'm not going to be able to use it. So, the best thing I can do is just get supplies. Alright, that's the best thing I can do right now. Screw it, I'll get this too. Promote your units, high rank items, and so forth and so on. Alright. You can be promoted. You, sir. Armor? Oh. Am I out of renown? I am out of renown. That's okay. That is okay. You find anyone? A few, sent them inside. Gods, this is bad. I'm out of practice, Rook. Look, as long as I've known you, you've always wormed your way out of talking about Dredge. This would be the time to start talking. I can tell you they'll rarely stop for rest. The sooner we leave, the better. They'll follow us until we're tripping over tired women and children. Then they'll attack. And also tired men and old men, and dogs, and cats, and basically anything you can trip over. Even after we're wiped out, they'll keep coming, trampling over corpses in their wake. There's no end to them. How did anyone survive the Great Wars? Ask the Menders, I wasn't there. But I know you've fought your fair share. Yeah, I've killed enough slag for one lifetime. And that's why you're going to save us now, right? That's, here's this heavy burden, the entire survival of my town. Here, you have big shoulders. Let me just rest those on those big shoulders, those big, meaty shoulders there. Don't lay that on me. Come on, let's get inside. Uh-oh. Rook, thank the gods you made it. The Great Hall is in an utter din, filled as it is with dozens of terrified families. Don't stop worrying yet. I haven't. What in the depths is going on? Dredge milling around, ransacking houses? The chieftain's wife finds you, pushing through the crowd.
They must know we're here. Why haven't they attacked?
I don't know. I wouldn't expect it to last. I've made some decisions, but tell me straight, what would you both do in my place? I'd have left by now. They're already outside the doors. Not so easily done. Rook? I trust Ivor on this one. The chieftain sighs a deep and heavy breath, slumping. He looks years older. I imagined us fighting back and saving the town, but nonsense. Ivor's right, of course. We can't just wait to be slaughtered. Where do we go if the dredge are coming down from the north? Frostviller to the west. Frostviller to the west. It's close and it has walls. I guess our town doesn't. I intend to be free of Skoger in one push, nobody left behind. I wouldn't, if the four of us were done.
What do you suggest?
Let me create a distraction, then go. I'll catch up on the road to Frostviller. What if we set the town on fire as we left? That is one thing I will not do. We will return here one day, whether I live to see it or not. Are we abandoning the storehouse? If we have to, we'd be leaving behind everything but the supplies you brought, Rook. On the other hand, Frostfeller's at least a week away. I'm not sure we've got that much food.
It'll be cutting it close.
If we're saddled with heavy carts, it'll almost be impossible to outpace the dredge. And if we run out of food before we get to Frostfeller, it won't matter how many escape. I still say let me handle the dredge. I have 50 days supply for 2 people. I think. We can't afford to leave the food behind. It's going to get us killed, Rook. Die fighting dredge or starve on the road. I'd rather fight. I agree with Rook.
Then I'm coming with you.
That catches you by surprise. The chieftain rubs his chin but doesn't argue. From the training she's given Aelette, you've no doubt she can handle a bow. Fine. I'll get the townspeople ready. Take some of the fighters and gather as much food as you can. Then tell us when you're ready. You step into the courtyard where you can already see dredge in every direction. The storehouse isn't far. You slip inside and start loading carts while Ivor and the half-dozen men who came along do the same. This seems abnormally loud to me. I mean, I know I'm recovering from some ear infections, but really? Alright, so I've been 60 days with 3 people? So if we're 20 people... That's 3 days, yeah. When you've gathered as much as you dare, Ivor takes up position outside the Great Hall. Dredge have already taken notice, watching closely. "Come on," he mutters, and people begin filing out of the hall. Almost immediately, things begin to go wrong. Some dredge go after the yaks tied to the supplies, while others lunge at a cart with chickens. Terrified men pull axes, and the dredge respond in kind. Not far away, you spot Ivor raising his shield, cursing. You prepare for a fight. In all honesty, I would have rather... said, "Okay, Ivor, I'm gonna help you with the distraction," but... gotta be honest. Maybe that was right. Too far away. Alright, so Rook. Supposed to... oh no. Oh, whatever. What's your ability? Rain of arrows. Target a talent on an enemy who steps into it. Okay. Well, I suppose if I die, I can... say? If it all goes pear-shaped, you can always make it pie-shaped. If I die, I'll just have to start again. Just keep it going. case he doesn't. That keeps him alive. Perfect. I didn't think I was going to pull that one through. Is ready for promotion. In the chaos that follows, you notice out of the corner of your eye some of the town guards struggling desperately with Dredge, and what might be the chieftain amongst them. To your left, Ivor is laying into a large colossus. Behind him, an elderly man scrambles to his feet. Past that, it's clear that most of the townspeople are scattering. If nobody steps in, they could be picked off one by one. Nearby, a Yox bleats pitifully as a Dredge wrestle with the wagon tied to it. Another full cart has been toppled beside it, abandoned. You could end up losing more food and supplies than you started out with. Try to keep everyone together. Got it! You shout, barking orders as you pass people. The guards will have to fend them for themselves, or there won't be anyone left to protect. Miraculously, you find yourselves clear from the fighting. Ivor emerges from the trees, bloodied but breathing. You swear you almost see a grin on his face. Oddleaf is not so lucky. She struggles to bear the body of the chieftain in her arms, her face blank. No guards join her. You gather her to the caravan and cover the body with a cloth. The chieftain's death hits you like a punch to the gut. Only at Ivor's insistence does the caravan continue on to Frostfeller. Alette's hand clasped tightly around your own. Morale has become poor. I do not blame it. Pausing to catch your breath, you glance backward to see the caravan stretched out past the point of safety. They're spaced out so far you're unable to see those bringing up the rear. Well, it's going to take us a week. That's okay. We have 16 days worth of food. We've got to pull them together. We've got to pull them together, says Ivor. It'd be dangerous to stop until it leaves the Goodstone. The path should be just ahead. Slow the pace so everyone can catch up. Give the others a chance to find us, you tell those around you at the front. You beckon the stragglers to pick up their feet, eventually bringing the caravan back together. However, many curse the slower pace and the lost time. Sorry, guys. So I should have rallied everyone with a speech, huh? That's awesome. I love that. That is awesome. So that's the Godstone then. Far enough for today, I think. After a day of misery, men and women drop their meager possessions beneath the Godstone of Hildraver. What are we doing? We just left our homes because suddenly there were Dredge. Probably shouldn't be looking to me for advice. Look at these people. Somebody has to hold them together. That's you, Rook. How am I supposed to do that? What if you want to more? But you're the Dredge killer around here. What do we do if we run into more Dredge? You mean when? I'll be honest with you. These men can't take on Dredge by themselves. I expect we'll lose 2 for every slag we take down. So we run? Only if you want to lose women and children. We're going to have to fight, and there are going to be deaths. Gods be damned, why is this happening? Think of how I feel. I'm stuck nursing a bunch of weaklings. You do care, I can tell. Ugh. Men are a plague on the world, worse than any dredge as far as I can tell. Chats like this is why we get along so well, Ivor. You sleep poorly, the sun forever stuck to an eternally bright sky. But the sun's gone. Before the others rise, you find yourself staring over long, low hills covered in pine. The Godstone looms overhead, the massive eyes of Hildur looking the same direction as you. Inspect the stone. The weathered stone doesn't see many visitors. Not much reason to travel so far east. When hunters come through, they sometimes stop to give offerings, out of habit more than anything else now that the gods are dead. Hridveldur was the god of hunters and of wild beasts, occasionally seen roaming the lands as both man and wolf. He was always depicted in effigy with his terrible spear. You wonder what he'd think about his woods being full of dredge now. He'd probably go hunting. A young girl from the caravan approaches you.
I made this for you,
She says, handing you a crude necklace carved from a branch she must have found nearby.
Thank you for saving my mama.
She says before running back to her tent. Back at your tent, you rouse Aelette, who clings to your arm until she's completely awake. Bad dreams. Eventually the camp is broken down and it's time to move on to Frostfeller. It feels like an end more than a start. Stone Hill Dwelver. I would actually like to camp and try to regain some morale. If that means on or off. The caravan halts when a group of men appear on the trail, weapons at their feet. "We've seen the dredge in your wake," says one. "We don't wish to meet them alone. If you'll let us join you, we'll show you a watering hole with enough animals to fill those supply wagons." An inherent fear of strangers mutters from the caravan. "What are you doing out here alone?" "We were hunting here for food when the dredge found our village," says the man. "When we returned..." He looks away, unable to finish. "Allow the men to join you." "If you'll be no trouble, come along," you say. The men cautiously join your ranks and prove trustworthy. The hidden watering hole nearby is teeming with animals, and soon your supplies are nicely restocked. Start down. 18 supplies. Morale declined. Alright, During a rest, one of the men gets too drunk and ends up splashing mead in a warrior's face. A brawl erupts. Many thrown fists and a broken bone later, the instigator, Raf Nisvartur, is tossed on the ground at your feet, angry clansmen looking for satisfaction. His personal defense is little more than drooling mumbles. Coerce a public apology. Grabbing Raf Nisvartur's neck, you force him to look at the crowd. "Apologize for this mess," you demand. The man babbles until you squeeze harder. "Sorry," he yells repeatedly, even after you let him go. Folks shake their heads, but leave the man alone. I am making all of the wrong choices here. Alright. Let's go see what Boyo has to see. "How's the arm, Eagle?" You find Eagle just outside the camp, practicing his sword swings. "I saw you take some hard hits out there." Yeah, I'm great. No, not great, considering everything that's, I'm fine. My arm's fine. It's a strong shield. It's Rook, right? I know we haven't, talked much before now, but, if you want, just call me Gil. Okay, Gil. I I wanted to let you know that I meant what I said before about making sure nothing happens to Aelette, your daughter. I've never seen a shield like that. Ivor seems to think you're pretty good. You're protective of Aelette. I'm heading back to camp. Bye. I've never seen a shield like that. Uh, yeah, I doubt there's many. My father made this. It's solid metal, really heavy. But I've been practicing with it since I was a kid. I used to spend a lot of time just getting used to lifting it. He raises it up to show you. I'm pretty good now with it. I'm gonna stop his stuttering because, I mean, it's no stutter written. And it's annoying. It's the only thing of my father's I have left. Then, when my mother died, she gave it to me before she died. Yes, because when she died and then she gave it to you, your mother would be a zombie. Ivor seems to think you're pretty good. Did he say that? That's good. I'm trying. Never had to fight anything like the dredge before, but and stutter just comes so naturally for the way that this is. I don't have much else to do, and how many people get to train with a Varl? Just seems like I could be a help to someone. That's what I want to be. You're protective of my daughter, huh? Well, I don't want her to get hurt. You can see his cheeks turn bright red. Don't worry, she can take care of herself, too. I know, I didn't mean... Easy, Gil. I know what you meant. I'm heading back to camp. Bye. Okay, bye. Oh, and if you need something, let me know. I can do anything you need. Between you and Ivor, we're going to be okay. I can tell. Anything you can do. No. Anything you want to do, I can do. No. So training gets me all of the benefits without any of the negatives. Because here we go. Rook is not injured, neither is Ivor, but Eagle gets to level up. So how do I level up you? I have no idea. What does that do again? Amount of willpower you can use in any given action. We'll do that. Okay. Honestly, I could just keep doing this until they're super duper high level. I'm not going to. I do want us to rest though. Well, improved. Or I can't cut it too close though. We gotta go. This is a lot closer than I wanted. The caravan is visibly relieved to find a small village on the way to Frostfeller, with beds and fresh supplies. The locals here are shocked by the news you bring and discuss it amongst themselves while you sit up nearby. Oh, thank goodness. Nope. Alright, well, gives us some wiggle room, which is all we can confirm. All we can ask for. Map. Where are we? Oh, that's hardly any time at all. One sitting upon the bank. I don't know why I'm gonna read this because I know that now I know they're going to read this whenever we get there. So just wait till we get there. Bitra, Ba Harbor, Eastwick. Okay. We are to the very, very east. That's what you're telling me. I'm going to get as much supplies as I most possibly can. Oh, am I out of renown? Dang it. Alright, we'll rest her. Alright, that's as much as we can rest, guys. You're only just outside the village when two men in red... "My name's Hogan," says one, gesturing to the other. "My brother is Mogan. Many from the village wish to join you to Frostbeller." A third man, exuding rage, charges up to the group. "Shut your mouth, Hogan!" he screams. "Listen here, brother. What's going on?" "These bastards don't speak for us. They've been trying to divide the village since you got here." "True. You can keep whoever wants to stay idle. Stay and die, I mean. The rest of us will go to the reasonable people of Skoker, with the reasonable people of Skoker." "I'll have you both gutted before I let half the village desert." Behind the angry villager, a mob of armed thugs have appeared, all furrowed brows and nervous stares. "You both know what will happen to the rest of us if the fields are abandoned. Nobody leaves." There won't be anything to tend once the dredge arrive. Like people deciding, no, I don't want nothing to do with this. "Dredge my ass." "I don't know what this scam is this time, Hogan, but you got two choices. Get back to work, or I'm finally putting you in the ground." "Mogan, what do you say, brother? Thought it was unfair that he only asked me." Mogan draws his axe slowly, followed by Hogan. Despite their confidence, the brothers are significantly outnumbered. I think I make a poor farmer." "Settle yourselves, don't get involved. I won't kill men for defending their homes. Side with villagers." Oh. This really is not my fight. This is the morally correct decision. I don't mean that morally. This is the logically correct decision. Morally, the majority of people would say this one. I won't kill people for defending their homes, siding with the villagers. I can't get involved. I don't. But I want Hogan and Mogan. Because then I'll have Hogan's heroes. As I know, Hogan's heroes don't say, "Hey, brother." But then I'm gonna kill people just for defending their homes. I can't get involved. You step back as one of the thugs lunges forward and is caught in the ribs by Hogan's axe. The air soon rings with the sound of screams and axe heads against shields. 4 men lie dead on the ground before the others run. "You hurt Mogan?" "No. We should have done that years ago." Nah, can't go around killing for no good reason. This was a good reason. Well, the brothers head back into the village, and soon many of the villagers have joined your caravan. Hogan introduces you to his son and wife, all grins, unconcerned about the fact that you never agreed to let them come. You don't bother arguing. Before long, you set out again. 11 fighters, 17 days of supplies. Morale declined. Aelette marches quietly alongside the caravan, a little distant since leaving the village. When you stop for a rest, Oddleaf approaches you both.
Aelette, I have something for you.
Oddleaf has gathered up the long banner from the caravan and smiles warmly as she passes it to Aelette. What's this about?
I was hoping you'd sew up the banner with everything that has happened since we left Skoger. Come and find me another time, Rook, and we'll talk.
Before you can comment, she departs.
Dad, are you the chieftain now?
It sure looks that way.
Oh, then that means...
You're both quiet for a moment while Aelette unfurls the banner.
Oddleaf has been teaching me how to sew.
She speaks pretty highly of you.
Can we read the part about Mum?
You nod. On the banner has been sewn the story of the families who have lived in Skoger throughout the years, just as is done on every banner in every town.
I wish she was here, but I'm kind of glad she isn't.
The section of the banner about your family is short, but Aelette has been sewing in colorful designs. Why do you say that?
So she doesn't have to deal with all of this. Dredge, leaving home. And why didn't you stop those men from killing each other in the village? I mean, if it's okay to ask.
In real life, it wasn't my decision to make, and it was the best of bad options.
Deciding what happens to other people. I'm glad I'm not you. I wouldn't know what to do.
It's not exactly my calling either.
Yeah, I know. Dad, I think you're doing a great job.
She hugs you. You spend the rest of your time together sewing new verses into the banner. For better or for worse, the story of Skoger is your burden now. Scrooge McDuck. "17 days worth of supplies. How are you doing, Odd?
I'm all right. I also forget exactly how high my voice is. Not at first. Sometimes, when a loved one dies, people say it doesn't sink in for a while. It sunk in for me right away as I was carting around his dead corpse. People tell me I'm a strong woman. It's funny. My father named me Oddleaf before I was even born. He wanted a boy so badly. Strong woman. What does that even mean?
In all honesty, I don't care for that expression. Every woman is strong in her own way. Every man is strong in his own way. We'll go with I've never cared for that expression.
If I feel nothing about my husband dying, people think I'm strong. If I cry because my inside feels like they're on fire, I'm weak.
Very, very true.
Why does that feel so backwards?
Because it is.
I'm sorry, Rook. It's been hard.
You're not sure what to say. In the many years you've known the chieftain's wife, this is probably the most you've ever talked. You asked me to come find you, even though you took care of my daughter when my wife died. I've apparently never talked to you for more than 2 seconds.
Yes, it's about the banner. I thought about it a long time. He asked me to give it to you, you know, if something happened.
Why?
He always depended on you, Rook. It should be mine. I could carry it. But I thought about why he named you. I get it. They won't follow a woman. Families would leave. Our banner would be divided.
I think they'd follow you.
Come on, Rook. This isn't the time for pretend. It's not just about our small town. What happens the first time we need something from another clan? How will that go? And the first time someone thinks they can take advantage of us? I think this is what has to happen.
Maybe this is what it means to be a strong woman. She looks sideways, eventually giving over a timid smile.
I'm not sure if that's the dumbest thing I've ever heard, or the sweetest. Listen, I know I've dragged this out. The truth is, my husband and I could never have a child. I didn't want our banner to end here. It'll be safe with you and Aelette. I know you're going to take care of her.
She puts her hand on your shoulder as she heads back to the camp. Excellent. That means I don't have to stay here another day. As much as I would love to spend a couple of hours grinding the combat system. At a small split in the trail, a few fighters stop to speak with you, each carrying a single pack. "We recognize this place," says one man. "Spent several years here with some kin. If they're still around, we have to warn them of what's coming. With luck, we'll find you again in less than a week." I want to know, do you think you'll be able to survive out there on your own? The men look at each other somberly before one says, "That's why we have to go. Out here alone, our kin are as good as dead." They check the straps of their packs once more and depart. I thought I would have the opportunity to ask you more questions. Complaints of Raf Svinsfer's excessive drinking have resurfaced. This time the man stumbled over some tent ropes, pulled the snagged canvas through a campfire, and nearly setting a supply wagon aflame. Clansmen put out the fire on both the wagon and Raf Spartner's leg before leading him to you. "This man drinks nothing but water from now on." Raf Nasvader groggily agrees, slurring his way through promises to quit being such a nuisance. Many of the onlookers snort or roll their eyes, but go back to their business. Somehow, you doubt it'll be long before Raf manages to find another drink, whether you'll allow it or not. Well, if he does, he gets banished, I'm sorry. "Dredge!" shouts a man from the back of the caravan. It's Raf Zvatner, the unabashed drunk, staggering toward you, looking not entirely sober. He screams again, pointing into the trees in the distance. Fear races through the caravan as fighters pull their weapons. Scouts return with no sightings, and furious men surround Rafner. I say this and this. There'll be time for that later, you tell the men. For now, we take no chances. A full day of uneasy rest passes with no sign of Dredge. The caravan is annoyed by the scare and the delay. Eventually, Raf bursts into laughter, and you're sure there never were any Dredge. Not long after, Raf goes missing. Nobody searches for him or seems to mind. I'm sorry. We're almost there,
Once
otherwise
a
I would
strong,
stop.
thriving city, the walls of Frostweller now just keep the howling winds at bay. With luck, they'll hold out against Dredge as well.
We have over 400 people coming, and less than 2 weeks supplies. Well, exactly 2 weeks supplies. I doubt they're gonna let us stay. You jostle through fallow crowds of sunken faces who appear as though they've been freezing in front of Frostweller for days. The gates are closed. You come to a stop at the bottom of the hill. This is not looking good.
Why are there so many people out in the fields?
We can't stay outside in the open like this. Podlith finds you amongst the many refugees.
Rook, I just talked to some of the women here. Nobody is being let into the city.
Why?
It's overrun with Varl from Blottspalker, Greyhorn, people from Bitra, all the nearby villages. The Dredge are everywhere. And the chieftain of Frostweller has locked himself in his great hall. That's when they close the gates.
When the Dredge come, these hills will turn red. We have to get in there. We don't have to get in there, we have to get away. Where could we go?
With our whole caravan. South, but Sigrholm and Bjorskard are so far away they may as well be horseborn lands.
The Dredge are moving south. If we keep going west, we might get out of their path. Wormtoe is half as far as Sigrholm and full of yarn.
And across the wastes, these people won't make it. I don't like any of these ideas.
That's because they're all bad. There's no point talking about leaving. We have to get in there. I want to know more about what's going on in there.
I see a lot of people gathered around the rest of the houses and gates. We can find out what they know.
How would we get in it anyway? They close the gates. I can get that gate open.
Let's see if there's any other way before we start breaking down gates.
I wasn't going to break it. Just push really hard.